Guru Radha Dhanadishya Guru Paramadaivatam Guru Paratarannasti Kripalu Gurave Namaha Cheto Tarpanamarjanam Bhavamaha Dhavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavachandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jeevanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvamasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Namah Kamalana Bhaya Namah Kamalamaline Namah Kamalapadaya Namaste Kamalekshana Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Dhakvang Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Seekers of divine bliss, as we do so every day, we will first chant for a few minutes and then I will begin my talk. Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhaj Giridhar Govind Bhaj Giridhar Govind Bhaj Giridhar Govind Bhaj Giridhar Govind बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की There is a very common question of greeting which is used in this world. How are you? And you mechanically reply, I'm all right, I'm fine. What does this all right mean? It means there is nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with my life. But from what you have been hearing all these days, it is most obvious that this is far from the truth. Till we did not know, we mechanically gave this reply. And although there was everything going wrong around us, we would always say, all right. Now we know that unless and until that inner craving, that longing which is there, inborn desire for happiness, which has been there with us from time immemorial, unless and until we do not attain that perfect, everlasting happiness, we can never be at peace. There will always be restlessness, unhappiness, and dissatisfaction in our life. This goal of everlasting, perfect happiness, as I mentioned, is actually speaking a desire for God. The scriptures reveal to us that we are parts of a supreme being whose nature is bliss, and that's where this desire for happiness comes from. Unless and until we attain Him, we will never be contented or fulfilled. So, the purpose of human life is to attain that supreme goal. And the only way to attain God, as I mentioned, is to know Him. Knowing does not mean using these material instruments that we have, the senses, mind, and intellect. It is totally impossible. We cannot grasp Him. Our material senses cannot reach there because we found out that even the greatest authorities on intelligence, Saraswati, Brahma, Shankar, etc., even they could not understand Him. The only way to know Him is through His grace. All those who have so far known Him and attained Him, it has only been through divine grace. We discussed this in detail, and yesterday I discussed two very important controversial issues which a lot of people are confused about and are totally in the dark. The first was God's will versus human freedom of action. How can we be controlled by God and at the same time be free to act? I explained that the reason the scriptures talk about God governing us is because He gives us the power to do. If He did not give us the power, we would not be able to do anything. We would not be able to move. So with the power that He gives us, we perform actions. And we are totally free in this respect. God does not interfere with human freedom of action. He only gives us the power to do. Now we can do as we desire, and therefore we ourselves are responsible for our actions, good or bad, and we have to bear the consequences. The second confusion was about destiny versus freedom of human will. There's a lot of confusion about that as well. And as I said, we are opportunists. Every field we find some way to evade blame for wrongdoings or whatever we don't want to do. I mentioned through the scriptures that destiny is nothing but another name for our own actions performed with the freedom of will in our past lives. These are not two different things. Human freedom of action and predestination. The circumstances of our life, the pleasure and pain that we experience, this is all due to our past actions. What we sow, we reap. And we are going to get only what we have earned, not less, not more. So if anyone cries against some injustice, it's only because they are ignorant about the law of karma. If one is born as a king or a beggar, or one is born as an athlete or a helpless cripple, this is all the working of our past karma. There are many times in the world, or even in our own lives, things that are accidental or that appears to be injustice. Like some innocent person suffering. Many people ask this question, why do good people suffer? And we find criminals, they are prospering in life. But mind you, there is no injustice. This is all the working of past karma. And because our understanding, our vision of life is very limited, we only know what is going around us right now. But mind you, this picture of our life is not just this life. This is only one episode. It's been going on. There are so many serials in the West. You know, ever since I've been going to England, almost 21, 22 years, I don't know now, but there's a serial called The Neighbors. People religiously watch it. It's still going on. And our serial has been going on for innumerable lives. And we only know very little. So we are looking just, for example, at a painting which is, you can imagine a painting, the whole wall in front of you, and you are looking at it from this distance. How much are you going to see? Only this much. The painting is far bigger than that. So according to the law of karma reveals that there is no injustice anywhere in the world. King Dhritarashtra, he was born blind, and it so happened that all his 100 sons were killed in the battle of Mahabharata. He questioned Lord Krishna, why has this injustice been done to me? Why was I born blind? I haven't done anything wrong in this life. I remember perfectly well. Can you give me an answer? Lord Krishna said, well, mind you, this life has a connection with your past lives as well. I remember my past life. How many? 1, 2, 3. I remember perfectly my 3 past lives. I have not done anything wrong to deserve this terrible fate in this life. Lord Krishna smiled. He said, if you take out 3 drops of water from an ocean and you say, the ocean has become less now, it's an absurd statement to make, isn't it? So now let us find out what part of our life is predetermined. How far destiny governs our life, and what is the role of free will. We will go back to the Hitopdesh, which gives the main important fields in which we are totally governed by fate. Ayu karma cha vittancha vidya nidhanameva cha panchaitanyapi srijyante garbhasthasya dehina. The Hitopdesh says that there are certain things that are predestined, absolutely decided, right from the time the child is in the womb itself. What are those things? Death, prosperity, intelligence, life and action. These are things that are predetermined and nothing can change that. Let us reflect a little on these. Let me quote to you what a great saint Bhartrihari said in this regard. Yadhatra nijabhala patta likhitam stokam mahadvadanam tat prapnoti marusthalepi nitaram merau tatonnadhikam tadhiro bhavavitta vatsu kripadam vrittim vritha makritha upe pashyapayo nidhavapi ghato grihnati tulyam jalam. This particular verse specially talks about the central goal of our lives today, making money. He says that the money, the wealth that you are destined to have in this life, you will have even if you are in the middle of a desert doing nothing. Suddenly, you will find over there a big bag of gold. You've not been looking for it and you find it right there in front of your eyes. And if you try to get more and it's not in your destiny, you may climb up Mount Sumeru to get more and you will not get a cent more. He said, the pot that you have, if you take this pot and dip it into the well, the amount of water that you will get in this pot will be the same. If you take the same pot, no, I'm going to go to the river, I'll get more water. You may go to one river, you may go to another river, you may even go to the ocean. But you are going to get only the same amount of water because the capacity, the space within the pot is just the same. Yet we do not realize this. If we look around in our life, There will be a lot of lessons that we do not need to learn from the scriptures. We can see in our own lives. Once it so happened that Parvati, she said to Lord Shiva, "You are the Lord of the universe. You should be helping people who are suffering in the world, who are really very poor. Why don't you do something? You are the Lord." Lord Shiva smiled. He said, "I think I'll have to use a practical example to make Parvati understand what destiny is." So what he did was, he located a very poor man who was walking down a street, and he put a bag of gold right in the middle, and he said to Parvati, "Now just hide behind the tree and we will watch." This man was walking down slowly, and suddenly a thought came to his mind. I wonder how blind people in the world walk. I mean, if you're blind, then how do you walk? He said, "Let me try that." He closed his eyes and walked, trying not to fall, and he passed the bag of gold and went on. Lord Shiva said to Parvati, "This is what destiny is." Now, when you hear this, I'm sure a lot of questions crowd your mind. You might think I'm saying there's no point giving any charity. People are going to suffer. There was a big episode sometime back in England. I think the manager of a football team, he talked about karma. God has got mysterious way to convey his message. This man was thrown out, but nevertheless, everybody knew, oh, what's karma about? We must know.